Yiratzon Parashat Vayeshev. Yiratzon Shalim Refuat Kol HaCholim Ubetocham Leah Bat Meter, Tanya Bat Hoda Margalit, Yosef Yar Ben Aviv Achava, Rav Sivan Ben Sima, Betoch Kol Shar Cholei Israel. Last week we started the first segment of dealing with Chanukah, and in a quick summary we saw that if Hashem created light, Chanukah is the time to ask yourself, are you using the light in areas of night? If Hashem believes in you, the question of Chanukah is, do you believe in you? To enter into the second segment, the second part of Chanukah, it's important to realize that although this is a great idea, the question is much greater: how do we get there? If so many people don't believe in themselves, how do we create a society, a community, a family that our children believe in themselves? How do we create schools that the students believe in themselves? Because we all know that that idea is incredible, but how do we get there? And so there's an incredible movie called Remember the Titans. And in the movie, there's a famous sentence, left side, strong side. And in the movie, they start dealing with this concept of the left. The left, the area where not really a lot of people go to. If I'll speak to my students about basketball, very often I'll try and emphasize them the importance of using their left hand in basketball, firstly because I don't know how to, but secondly because that's where no one goes. And so in that movie they recognize that the left side is more than just an area, but it's a symbol. And not only in the movie did they create that concept, but they probably learned it from Chanukah. Because if we look in Chanukah, we'll see that the halacha says, Ner Chanukah mismol u'mezuzah miyamin. They say it's important to realize that the direction is significant. And part of the direction is that on the right side you have a mezuzah. And what's more important is to ask, what is the mezuzah symbol? And the symbol of the mezuzah is that Hashem is inside. I'm a sofer, Baruch Hashem, and I'm zocheh to look at Parshiyot, and you know that it opens up with Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu. So the right side, the strong side, is to recognize that our strength is knowing that Hashem is there, even when you might think He's not. So that's the right. But the Chanukah candles are, like the Gemara says in Masechet Shabbat of Kav Bet Amud Aleph, Ner Chanukah mismol. The Ner Chanukah is davka on the left side. An obvious question to ask the creator of Remember the Titans, but also Abaye and Arava and all the guys that are writing the Gemara, what do you care? And if the mezuzah was on the right and the Chanukah candle was also on the right, would that bother you? What is the link? What's the connection? What are you addressing by putting the Chanukah candle on the right side? And therefore, the area we put it, and also we light the Chanukah candles from left to right. We start from the left, we light on the left, and we realize that the left side is a symbol of one of the ways to enable ourselves to understand what it means to believe in yourself. So says the Sfat Emet, what is the left side? What's the symbol? And he says in 5 words, Ma she'eineno ikar. Rak tafel. Chanukah is not dealing with the concept. It's not dealing with the idea. It's asking very simple, what are the details that people aren't aware of? Baruch Hashem, I just walked out into the hallway about 7 minutes ago, and there's a student that I've been seeing daily. And I just say to him, how's it going? What's your plan for next year? Which is obviously the worst question to ask somebody. But for the situation of 12th grade, it's a good question to ask. And he says, Yair, I don't know. So the next day I came and he said, I don't know. And then today I sat him down and I said, what does it mean you don't know? Simply what it means is that you don't know the goal of what you're looking for next year. You're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, should I go here, should I go there? But what's your goal? Where do you want to get to?
But that's not why you'll succeed. Because if you have a goal, then can you break it down to what it means in the daily basis? So basically, the right is the goal. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a mezuzah, then all the details just become annoying. Mamash annoying. If you come over to someone who is choser b'tshuvah, never heard about Judaism, and you say, did you tie your tefillin strong enough on your right arm? I'm not exactly sure they're going to say, whoa, thank you so much, I love Hashem. They're going to say, you're not exactly helping me feel a relationship, please stay away. Meaning, you must start from the right. You must start from the concept. But that's not enough. What makes the concept last, what makes it real, is that you're able to relate it and translate it into the details. And so the left is tafel. No one pays attention to the left side. That's why in basketball we use the left side. That's why often on the left side in combat is where they teach us in the army to fight. Because the right is where they're expecting you to come from. So use the details. Use the secrets. Use the small things that no one pays attention to. And it's so great on Chanukah, because when we think about Chanukah, we'll realize that not only is the left side becoming the main idea, but it's the shortest holiday. You light the candle, and all you need is 30 minutes. And that's it. So the majority of us, when we go through Chanukah, suddenly it's over because it was just half an hour. So we lit it, and then we turned our whatever on, and we went around, and we ran there, and we went there. And it's just like so insignificant, but maybe that's the goal of Chanukah. Maybe the fact that it's just 30 minutes. Do you focus on those 30 minutes? Do you utilize those 30 minutes? Do you enter those minutes, those details, those smaller areas, those left sides, and address them as the most important second step to success? Yes, have a goal. Know the right. Know the mezuzah. Know that Hashem is there. But the song of Hashem is there must continue and ask you, if Hashem is there, then what does that mean about the smallest details? Some doctors are great doctors, and other doctors are great doctors. What differentiates the great doctors from the great doctors? Meaning, they all want to save lives. They all want to save lives. And the difference between the doctors are two things. The first one is, do they ask you your name when they're treating you? You want to save a life? Well, my name is my life. And if you don't know my name, then you might be saving my body, but you're not saving my being. And if a doctor asks the name, that small detail, that little area that you focus on, is creating a world of a difference in the same action. They'll do the same shot. They'll do the same examination. They'll give you the same prescription, but with your name and without your name. That little detail shows a tremendous difference. What I've learned often in being a counselor in camp is that your job is from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. 10 p.m., all the kids know that that's the time when you get to go out and be with your friends. And I realized that for those campers, the biggest difference was not from 7 to 10. Because they're very smart, and they said, you're here because you need to be here. You're getting a salary. So because of that salary, you're doing your job from 7 to 10. And the moment a counselor stayed till 10:01, it transformed from a job to a relationship in that 1 minute. One of my great Rebbes, Rebbe Yaakov Farachi, told me that often when you go running, you'll have a goal of 2 miles. If you'll do 1.99 miles, you'll go home and feel like you didn't do a thing. And if you did 2 miles, 0.01, suddenly you look at yourself, you're like, wow, I could conquer the world. That difference was a 3-second difference. But that 3-second difference is more than what it seems. It's basically, do you reach and then reach more? Or did you just let go? There's a famous Gemara that says, did you learn something 100 times or 101 times? The truth is, I'm not exactly sure, except for Rav Kook, that people learn every single daf 101 times. But the idea is that that extra one is the transformation of the entire 100. Yeah, you went in Rosh Hashanah and you went in Yom Kippur and you did all these great things. Chanukah is half an hour. Chanukah is the left side. And there's an amazing question, which is from the Ran. The Ran says, all of us know that the miracle of Chanukah was not 8 days. It wasn't. They found a thing of oil that could last for 1 day, that lit for 8. So I was doing math yesterday with Adiel, and I said to him, Adiel, what's 8 minus 1? And my 5-year-old son said 8 minus 1 is 7. So the miracle was 7 days. So questions the Ran, one of the greatest questions, why are we lighting for 8? Light for 7. The first day wasn't a miracle. But sometimes knowing that this small detail that you did not let go of, because they could have said, and this is a sugya in Masechet Yoma Daf Yud, Tuma hutra b'tzibur. If the oil was tameh, you have permission from God. From God. To take whatever you want. Take water. Take impure oil. It doesn't matter. But the fact that they looked at that detail and they showed themselves that they still want to hold on to that one little last oil, even though halachically they didn't have to, that was the miracle. The miracle wasn't the 7 days. That was the continuation of focusing on that one day, focusing on that one detail. Someone once asked me, if you have the zchut to ask, a group of teachers, what's the most important thing in education? And a lot of times, the ability to speak in a one-on-one will go much farther than 17 hours of class. That does not mean that 17 hours of class are a mistake or a waste of time. But it means that can you also add that small detail that shows a world of a difference. And the second thing, when we go back to the doctors, is that the doctor knows that if you want to save a life, it's not proven through the statement, I want to save lives. It's proven through the 7 years or 10 years, or sometimes even 13 years of learning the details and the implication of the great goal. So to summarize, we started off and we said that in our first part of Chanukah, we spoke about the fact that it's a Chag that celebrates the nighttime and asks you, can you believe in yourself? But what does it mean to believe in yourself? What it means to believe in yourself is to be aware that the small detail with a lot of emotion is the fire. A candle is small, but it could light up a world. And sometimes the ability to do something with the energy of a candle makes the detail into a dream. On my first date with my wife, who Baruch Hashem, it's her birthday today, we spoke for 6 hours. That's like the right side, great stuff. And at the end of the 6 hours, Tanya said, Yair, the motto is do something, someone. And she didn't say this, but she probably also meant it, somewhere. Meaning, don't do everything. Don't do something for everyone. Recognize that something for someone is showing that someone that they are everyone. That your way of doing the something, your way of relating to the left area where no one's looking at, is basically saying that something that might seem small is really the greatest potential of the world. And when we're lighting our candles and looking at our children, or looking at ourselves, or looking at our futures, can we take that little candle, that one first day, that left side, and ask ourselves, are we ready to care enough about the implication and the details and do them in a way that we perceive them as the goal? And if we're speaking to one of our children, we should have the zchut to make them feel like they're the world. And when we're doing Shmoneh Esrei on our own in shul, we should feel that when we close our eyes, we view ourselves as a world. And when you view yourself as a world, you'll treat yourself as a world, and you'll accomplish anything in the world that you want to accomplish. Shabbat Shalom.